First of all, when we're teaching the alphabet, we look at letter sounds before we start teaching the alphabet, the names of the alphabet. Then when we do, it's sounds, then it goes lowercase and then uppercase. And alongside that, we teach with the Barbara Brand Casey Caterpillar writing, because everything has its right way of doing it. For example, an H would be a tall stick, a tunnel, and a D would be an open mouth, tall stick. So the children know exactly how to write, because when they, and then we do not get that reversal with their writing, and that's really important. Everything has its place, and when we look at how letters are formed, we know that they are either crossing the midline. So some letters cross the midline, some don't.
Right.
The upper school also know to continue if somebody's come in and has reversals, that they would use that same program. Writing and reading go hand in hand, and you can't do one without the other. So within writing, we always ask for the students to be listening to the sounds. So a lot of modelling goes on before a writing session, and so that students right from prep are starting to write stories, not preempted stories written on the board on the weekend. I did. That is not in our school anymore. It used to be part of our school. Children write from where and what they need to write to get off their chest, and we're getting really delightful stories and interesting beginnings, because they've had a lot of exposure to the modelling and listening to the sounds, and they are able to write the words and be creative in their writing. So that is becoming from prep and right throughout our school, but we've got a major emphasis on our preps 1s and 2s this year, and we're using the Kid Writing Book, which is a fabulous resource and building the needs of students within the classroom writing program. Teachers always they work within groups, so there'll be some publishing their stories, there'll be some writing stories, some will be doing some editing with their stories, so there's a variety of things going on. Work is always marked, and for the right sounds ticks underneath. If there is a word that they know that the child knows or can find in the editing process, they direct, where can you find that word, or is that in your word bank? So they're asking the child to go back and look for those interesting words that make it the children's writing really theirs. Teachers can help and will write the right word underneath. So, and that's fine. The children doesn't matter what the teacher's written underneath, the children write their writing, and they remember their finger spaces, because that's something that you need to teach in prep, that they need to have finger spacing between their words. And that's an important fact as well, because at this level, those children get confused. What is a letter and what is a word? So building that into your modelling structure is really important. We start that right through at prep, and at prep we start it by looking at their sight words. So they're sight words that they can find around the classroom, and they build on those sight words. In year 1, end of prep, beginning of year 1, we start on the spelling of those sight words, and from prep they know a lot of those because they're using them in their writing, and they've become more familiar with using them, so that by the end of year 1 we would like to see that the children know all of those 200 sight words, and then building their own vocabulary through their writing into their spelling program. we use those from 3 to 6, but they're a part of a program, they're not the whole program. So there has to be model teaching within the spelling program, and it's very easy to get lulled into the fact of just using our book and photocopying pages, but that doesn't necessarily constitute good teaching.